Hello everyone. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about managing variables in an Ansible project. So as of now, in the past few lectures, we got an idea about Ansible architecture, Ansible setup, understanding configuration file of Ansible, how to run the ad hoc commands, understanding host inventory file, how to write a simple playbook using YAML language. So in this lecture, I'm going to discuss how we can define variables in an Ansible project. So what is variable? Variables in a Ansible playbooks are very similar to using variables in any programming language. Ansible supports variables that can be used to store values that can be reused throughout files in an entire Ansible project. Variables provide a convenient way to manage dynamic values for a given environment in your Ansible project. So few examples I have taken where we can use the variables. Suppose you need to install the users in your environment. So when you create the playbook, at that time you can use the variables. Suppose you want to install package for your Ansible managed host. So for that, if you are trying to create any playbook or any ad hoc command, so at that time also you can use the variables, services to restart, files to remove. So I have just taken few examples where we can use the variables. Naming variables. So how we can define the variable, or we can say how we can create the variables. Variables have names which consist of a string that must start with a letter and can only contain letters, numbers and underscores. So when you define the variable, it could be any name or it could be a string that must be start with a letter. So you have to keep in mind when you define the variable name. Defining variables. So here it is saying that where all you can define the variables. So very first you can define the variable global scope. So it means that you can define the variable in the Ansible configuration file, or also suppose you have created an Ansible playbook, but in the playbook you have not defined any variable. But when you fire the Ansible playbook, at that time also you can define the variable in a command line. You can also define the variable in your ad hoc command as well. You can define the variable in the Ansible playbook or related structures. You can also define the variables in the inventory file of Ansible. So these are the places where you can define the variables. Variables in a playbooks. When writing playbooks, administrator can use their own variables and call them in a task. For example, here you can see I have defined the name of the variable, that is web_package. So this is the name of my variable, and the value of this variable is httpd, and this value of variable can be called by the yum module in order to install the httpd package. So here you can see this is a simple example that is for the installation of Apache package and start the service. This is the host or web server, and here you can see I have defined all my variables under this vars colon, and 6 variables I have defined. web_package, this one. So this is the name of my variable and this is its value, and 5 variables, and here you can see I have defined this one and the third one, web_package and web_service, and the value of both the variable is same. So don't be confused with that. So when you call the variables in your task, if you're defining this one or this one, both the variable is same because its value is same. So you can use any one of the variables. So friends, that's all for this lecture. This is a lab session in which I am going to discuss how to define variables in a playbook. Let me quickly log in into my Ansible server, and I had already created a playbook. Let me edit this one, and that's a very simple playbook. Initial few lines, the basic requirement of a playbook. After that, here you can see I have defined variables under the var tab. So this is a vars colon, and after that I had defined 4 variables. This is the name of my variable, and its value is httpd. This is my second variable name, that is firewall underscore pkg, and its value is firewall d. So like this way I had defined 4 variables. And after that, the tasks are simply mounting the OS media drive, copy the local repo file that we had already discussed in the past few lectures, and here you can see I am installing my packages using the yum module, right? And all the packages I have defined using the variable. So I have just mentioned the variable name. So this is web underscore pkg, firewall underscore pkg, and perl underscore pkg. So 3 packages would be installed one by one on the server that is coming under this host web server. In this web server I had defined only one server, that is client 1. And after that it is just trying to start and enable the service, that is httpd and this firewall d, right? And the next task is to create the web content and open the port. So that's a very simple playbook. Let me come out from this one, and very first step, Ansible -- list host web server. So one client is there, that is client 1. I had already taken the session of client 1, and let me cross check the syntax. Of my playbook. Syntax is also okay. Let me come to this one, and there is no repo file. rpm-qa. This package is not installed. Firewall D is also not installed, and my OS media drive is also not mounted yet. Coming back to my Ansible server, I'm going to start this playbook, and the name of this one, capital K, and let me do it step by step. So let me first clear it. Ansible playbook, this is the name of my playbook, capital K. It will ask for the sudo password, and let me do it step by step. Gathering facts, yes, it is gathering the facts of client 1. The next task is to mount the OS media drive. Yes, I want it should be mounted, so this has been done now. The next task is copy the local repo file. You want to continue? Yes. The file has been copied now. Now you can see server.repo has been copied now. Install the packages. Yes, it is going to install 3 packages one by one. That's done now. You want to cross check. Firewall D has been installed. Okay, so everything has installed. The next task is to start and enable the service, that is httpd. Done. Firewall D done. Create web content. Yes. Open the port. Yes. So all done now. Total changes is 6 here, right? Because they were having 6 tasks. Now let me try to access this website from outside. Okay. Okay, still I'm not able to access it. Why? Okay, I have taken the IP of the Ansible server, but the changes I have done, the installation I have done on client. So I need to copy the IP of this one. So the IP of this client one is this one. Now you can see the website which I had created with my playbook using the variables is started opening now. Now let me come back to my Ansible server and let me edit this one. Let me do some changes here. So content is Ansible automation classes. Welcome to Ansible step-by-step Ansible automation classes. Some changes I have done here. And this is my client machine. Unmount this one, MNT. Coming back to this one. Again I am going to run this one. So this time the two changes will be done on the client machine. The first one, it will try to mount it. It will mount the OS CD drive, and after that the changes in the web content. Apart from that, everything is already done on the client machine. So let me done it step by step. Oh, it's step by step. Yes. Green means it has gathered the fact. So it has mounted the OS. That's why the changes has been this one. Copy the repo file. Green means the file is already there, so no task has been done. Package already installed. Services are already started. Create the web content. So this time it is going to create the web content because we have done some changes. Now you can see the color change. It is this one color. So it means that some changes has been done. Also it is showing changed. So total task that has been changed on my client machine is 2 now. Let me refresh it. I can see welcome to step-by-step Ansible automation classes. So friends, that's all for this lecture. We'll see you in the next lecture. Bye bye. Take care. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about host variables and group variables. So these variables can be defined in a file that is called host inventory file, which is available inside /etc/Ansible. Inside this location where we have a file that is host file, which is also known as host inventory file. In that file we can define host variables and group variables. So let's understand what is host and group and how we can define it. So inventory variables that apply directly to host fall into two broad categories. The first one is the host variables that apply to a specific host, and group variables that apply to all hosts in a group. So to understand this, I have taken a very simple example. So here you can see this is the name of a group that you can define in a inventory file, servers under which we can have multiple servers like demo.example.com, and maybe a few more servers would be there in that group. And here you can see I have defined one variable, that is Ansible_user. So what is this? This is a variable and it is having some value, that is here you can see jaw. So this variable that we have defined after this server, so this variable is applicable to this server only, not for the entire group that is servers. This variable is only applicable to this server. So it is called a host variable. Now let's understand what is group variables. So to understand group variable, I have just taken a very simple example. So this is my first group, that is servers 1, under which you can see two servers, demo 1 and demo 2. This is my another group, that is servers 2, under which you can see few more servers, that is demo 3 and demo 4. And here you can see I have defined one more group, that is servers. Under this group I want to define my any other group like server 1 and server 2. If you want to define both the groups in a new group, then here you have to use like this way: servers, this is your colon, and here you have to put children, and the servers 1 and server 2. So if we'll try to know what all the servers under this group, that is servers, Now in servers we have 4 servers, that is demo 1, demo 2, demo 3 and demo 4. So this is one thing. And here you can see servers and colon vars, and server is equal to jaw. So here you can see, user is equal to jaw. So here you can see I have defined one variable, that is user is equal to jaw. After that, what all the servers that is coming under this servers will have this variable. So this variable is applicable to all my 4 servers because this is for servers. Under this servers we have 2 groups, that is server 1 and server 2. And under server 1 we have demo 1, demo 2, and server 2 we have demo 3 and demo 4. And here you can see I have defined a variable, that is user is equal to jaw. So in actual, this variable is applicable for all my 4 servers. So that is known as group variables. So no worries, we'll do the lab session as well. So friend, that's all. We'll see you in the next lecture. This is a lab session on host variables and group variables. Let me quickly log in into my Ansible server, and this is my host inventory file. So in this file you can define your variables. So a lot of entries are already there. And let me create a group, insert, so my first group here, servers 1, I have defined one group, servers 1, under which I am defining few servers, demo 1, demo 2, demo 3. Let me create one more group, servers 2, this is my another group. Let me put few more servers, demo 4, 5, 6, 7. You can put n number of servers. Even you can put the servers which is already defined in some other group like demo 1. You can put demo 1 in this group as well. So this is one thing, that defining the servers in a group. Now what is host variable? So this is my demo 1 server, and I want to define a variable, a host variable for this server. Then you have to give a space here and give any variable name, whatever you want. Suppose I am giving Ansible underscore user is equal to John. So this is the name of my variable, Ansible underscore user, and its value is John. So this variable is defined only for demo 1. So this variable is applicable only for this server, not for the entire group. Suppose this is my another server, and for this server I have given another user like Sam, right? So this is another host variable that is applicable for demo 2 server. Okay, this is one thing. Now I'm going to create another group, that is servers, right? And in that group I want to define the servers that belong to my server 1 group and servers 2 group. So for that you have to use servers underscore colon and children. Now in this group I want to define the servers which is a part of this group, server 1s and server 2. So if you have such type of requirement, then you have to use children here, and after that just give the name of the group, servers and servers 2. So in my servers group, this one, we have all the servers, that is demo 1, demo 2, demo 3, demo 4, demo 5, 6 and 7. Let me show you. First group was servers 1. Some typo mistake, servers. Okay, now you can see that in servers, first group, servers 1, we have 3 servers, and for servers you can see in that group we have all the servers that belong to servers 1 and servers 2 group. Okay, so this is about the host variable. Now let me tell you about the group variable as well. Suppose in that group servers I want to define a variable, then you have to use this colon and variables. After that you can define any variable. Suppose I am defining Ansible underscore user, and here I am giving some different name like Verma I have defined. Okay, so this variable Ansible underscore user, this is a variable that is applicable for all my servers, that is demo 1, demo 2, demo 3, demo 4, demo 5, demo 6 and demo 7. The few things you have to keep in mind. The first, let me read out. The host variables take precedence over the group variables. So what does this mean? So here you can see I have defined this variable. The same variable is also defined at the host level, that is Ansible underscore user, that is equal to John. So if the variable is same, that is defined at the group level as well as at the host level, so which variable is going to take the precedence? So here when you run the playbook, so it is going to take this variable for this demo server, and for this demo 2 it is going to take this value same. It is not going to take this value. And for other servers, demo 3, demo 4, demo 5, demo 6 and demo 7, the Ansible underscore user is equal to Verma only. So this is one thing. Suppose I am defining Ansible host is equal to anything I am defining like ABCD. So this variable is applicable for all my host like demo 1, demo 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because this variable is not defined here. If it is the same variable which is defined at both the end, so which is going to take the precedence? So your host variable will get the precedence here. So host variables take precedence over group variables, but variables defined by the playbook take precedence over both. Suppose in the playbook I have defined the same variable Ansible underscore user, and that I have given suppose XYZ. So when you run the playbook, Ansible underscore user is equal to XYZ, it is going to take. It is not going to take this one, Verma or this John, for all the servers. So friends, that's all for this lecture. Hope you got some basic idea about the variables. So that's all. We'll see you in the next lecture. In this lab session, I am going to discuss about the variables. Let me quickly log in into my Ansible server, and in this lab session, I am going to create a playbook for the creation of a remote directory. Suppose I want to create a directory on my remote servers, and once the directory would be created on my remote server, I want to copy a file on those directories. So how we can do that? So let me create a playbook for that. Host is web server because one server is defined in this group. Now I'm going to define the variables. The name of my variable is remote underscore dir. So this is the name of my variable, and its value is etc Ansible and facts.d. So I want to create a directory on my remote servers, and this is the directory I want to create. And I'm going to define another variable facts underscore file, and here I'm defining the name of file custom.facts. So two variables I have created. Okay, now my first task that is create a remote directory, and for that I'm going to use the module, that is file module. State what do you want to create? I want to create a directory. Okay, recurse yes. Suppose on my remote server Ansible directory is not there, it is only etc directory is there, and I want to create this one. So first it is going to create Ansible directory, and then it is going to create facts.d directory. Okay, and the path it is asking. So here I am going to use my variable that I have defined here. Right, this is one thing. After that, once the directory would be created, I want a file should be copied. Copy a file. So for that I'm going to use copy module. So which file you want to copy? The file should be existing on your Ansible server. So it is existing on this server on the same location. So here I am going to use this one, the name of my file. I am also defining the name of file with the variable. Here you can see. So it is going to look for the file in the same location where you are going to execute this playbook, this file. And where you want to copy, I want it should copy into this location on the destination server. Okay, so that's a very simple playbook I have created, just to create a directory and then copy a file. Now let me come out from this, and a few things I want to check. Ansible, list, host, web server, client 1 is there, and let me log into my client 1. Let me check Ansible directory is there. Now you can see that Ansible directory is not there. So first it is going to create the Ansible directory, and then it is going to create the facts.d directory, and once the directory would be created, it is going to copy a file. Okay, and let me check the syntax. Syntax is okay, everything seems fine. I am going to execute this one. Let me do it step by step. Okay, directory has been created. Let me check. You can see Ansible has been created, the facts has been created. Okay, and it is saying copy the file. Yes, I'm getting some error. Let's see why I'm getting this error. It is searching for the file, this one, custom, in the source location. So let me first open this one, and here you can see that this playbook is not able to copy the file. So here you can see the source location, this one, the facts. So it means that it is looking for this file on the same location where you have created this playbook. So let me check whether this file is there or not. So the file is not here. So I need to create this file, custom .fact. This is an application file. Okay, so the file is here now. Again I am going to run the same playbook. You can see that this Ansible is smart enough. Here you can see that it is trying to create the directory, but the directory is already there, right? Because I have already created this directory with my previous. Okay, so that's why I didn't create it, and now it is trying to copy this file. Yes, the file has been copied now. Now let's see. Now you can see the file has been copied now. So friend, that's all for this lecture. Hope you got some idea about the variables. So that's all. We'll see you in the next lecture. In this lecture, I'm going to discuss a very easy and useful topic, Ansible facts. Ansible facts are variables that are automatically discovered by Ansible from a managed host. In simple words, Ansible facts are the predefined variables. And with the help of setup module from your Ansible server, you can retrieve the values of those variables from your managed host at any time. Facts are pulled by the setup module and contain useful information is stored into variables that administrators can reuse. Ansible facts can be the part of playbooks, in conditionals, loops, and any other dynamic statement that depends on a value for a managed host. So few examples where you can use the Ansible facts. The first one is a server can be restarted depending on the current kernel version. Suppose you are having 50 servers in your requirement, in your environment. A server can be restarted depending on the current kernel version. Suppose in your environment there are 50 servers. And your requirement is, I want to reboot a server whose kernel version is XYZ. I'm just taking an example. So in that case, you can use the Ansible facts. With the help of Ansible facts, you can find out the kernel version from all your managed hosts, and with that output, you can tally and reboot the required server. A server can be restarted depending on the current kernel version. Suppose in my environment there are 50 servers and my requirement is I want to reboot a server whose kernel version is XYZ. So in that case you can use the Ansible facts. With the help of Ansible facts, you can first find out what is the current kernel version from all your managed hosts. And then you can use the conditions and reboot the one whose kernel version is XYZ. Another example is users can be created depending on the host name. Suppose my requirement is that I want to create 2 users on client1.example.com. So first, with the help of Ansible fact, you will find out which server is client1.example.com, and then it is going to create the users on that. No worries, we'll do the lab session, then you can easily understand. Ansible facts are a convenient way to retrieve the state of a managed host and decide which action to take based on its state, like host name, the kernel version, the network addresses, IP addresses, the version of the operating system, various environmental variables, the number of CPUs. So I've just taken few examples. So I've just taken a command, and with that command, that is Ansible, after that you have to give the name of the server and and setup. So this command is going to gather all your Ansible facts. So the output would be very big. You can use the filter as well. So here you can use the filter, like if you want to get the detail about a variable like Ansible hostname, then you have to use this one. If you want to get the detail about Ansible underscore this default IP address, then you have to use this one. And at any time, if you have any confusion like what is the name of the variable, you can simply fire this command. It will give you the big output. From that output you can gather the name of your variable. So let me quickly log into this one and let me show you how we can use Ansible. And suppose I am taking client1-m and setup. Let me give a pipe here. Now you can see it is giving me all the details. So these are the variables. This is my one variable. So if I want to use the filter, if I'll give this, it will give you this IPs only. So if you simplify our setup, it is going to give all the details, all the facts from the server. So I have got a big output, that is, it has gathered the facts from my managed host. Okay, suppose I want to use any filter here, so I can use -a filter and filter. I want to know about this IP version 4. So from client 1 I will get the detail about the IP version. So this is the IP. I have got the complete detail about the IP from client 1. Suppose I want to know host name. So this is the host name here, client 1. I want to know the FQDN. Then I have to use Ansible _FQDN. This is client1.example.com. Ansible virtualization. I just want to know whether it's a VMware or physical server. Type of virtualization. So it's a VMware. It is showing this. So this way you can use the Ansible facts. You can also use the Ansible facts in a playbook as well. So let me show you. I had already created this one. So here you can see I have defined this one. Print various Ansible facts, debug message, and here I have just mentioned default address, and in this curly bracket twice time you can use the Ansible facts. So if I am going to run this one, first it is going to print this one, default address of this one Ansible fact, and this is the IP address. So let me come out and let me run this one. And one more thing I just want to know, host web server. Okay, let me run it for 2 servers. So I am going to change this one. Prod is a group on which we have 2 servers, that is client 1 and client 2. Okay, so the message I got, the default address of client 1. So this is the message, the address. This is the Ansible _FQDN, and this is the IP version. This is for next server, that is client 2 this way. So this way you can use the Ansible facts. So friend, that's all for this lecture, and in the next lecture also we are going to use. So friend, that's all for this lecture, and also in the next sections we are going to use the Ansible facts many times. So that's all, we'll see in the next lecture.